Online students, are you there? I hope you are sleeping. I think so. Are you sleeping? No. We will move to the further. Where are we? Hmm? Where are we? So those who are saying good morning, I am also saying good morning. Now, say, where are we now? Huh? Exceptionally. Exceptionally. Already started 2 days back. Syntax for handling exceptions. That is the topic. Every time exception. Yesterday also, what is the topic? Exceptionally. Today also exceptionally. Hmm? Some difference. Daily you need to remember up to last topic we discussed in the class. So go to this place. Here I will 11 a.m. exceptions here. Syntax for handling the exception. This part was completed. This part was completed. And next, various forms of except blocks. This also completed. Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, n number of forms completed, where multiple forms completed. And I gave the examples also for that. Now I need to go to some examples I want to go on these exceptions. Indirectly, I'm discussing today about one important keyword called what? Raise also. Raise also I want to go for it. This example is done in the last class. So before going to this part, I want to discuss these exceptions with some type of programmer defined exceptions I want to introduce, plus some examples I want to discuss. And I will discuss this keyword also along with this, working with programmer or user defined exceptions I want to introduce today. So let us start working with this programmer or user defined exceptions. Try to carefully follow. It's very easy. Already we did in the class. Types of exceptions. How many types? How many types? Two types. What are those? Three. User defined and programmer defined. Stand up once. How many types? What are those? Like that. You are saying user defined and programmer defined. Both of them are same. Actually, user defined, no. You have to say programmer defined. User defined means what? We selling jalebi outside, pani puri. They are called what? Users. Who are you? So who will define your own exception? Programmer or outside person? So you have to call programmer defined exception. In colleges, other institutes, user and they will call. User means what? Who don't know anything about the Python. He is called what? User. So user is different from programmer. But all people said lies, 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 lies. That will become fact. But lies is one day it's a fact only. It's wrong only, right? So user or programmer. Correct word is programmer defined. So anyhow, already completed. Types of exceptions already discussed among. You observe it. Types of exceptions in Python. Two types of exceptions. Predefined, programmer or user defined exceptions. Predefined or programmer defined built-in exceptions. These exceptions are already developed by Python language developers, available in Python software, used for what? Language develop, used by programmers, you people, for dealing with what problems? Universal problems. Invalid index, invalid conversions, invalid number of arguments or operations. These are all called what? Predefined exceptions. Programmer or user defined exceptions. So I'm going to take up these many number of things. Some of the common problems which are occurring is called something like this. So this part I am going to carry because this part was already explained to you. So here I am writing programmer defined exceptions are those which are developed by what? Programmer defined exceptions are those which are developed by Python programmers. They are available in Python project, used by other team members of the same project. They are always deals with what? Come on, deals with project common problems. Common problems in project. You can write common problems in projects and which are occurring in project. Common problems which are occurring in the project. You can write it, not an issue. Common problems occurring in the project. What problems? Example, when you take username and password in Gmail, Gmail app development is called one project. Their username and password is entered wrong. Wrong means what input? Invalid input. Invalid input is known as what? Exception. Every exception need to create what? Every exception need to create what? Every exception must create what? Hmm? I will wait. I will see you those people. Every exception need to create what? Hmm? Try Blacka. Every exception must create what? I asked 5 times. ఎందుక మీరు అసలు సో సో మీరంతా ఇంకా నాకు కోపం ఎక్కువ అసలు ఫస్ట్ ముందే నేను కంట్రోల్ చేసుకుంటాను ఐఎమ్ కంట్రోలింగ్ బై మై సెల్ఫ్ సో కమింగ్ టు దిస్ చదవండి చూడండి ఇక్కడ whenever an exception occurs in the program pvm creates an object of appropriate exception class. What I am asking, you need to have point of answer. Whenever an exception occurs, what will create? Object of appropriate creates. This word you need to take. All exceptions by default generates what means this message you need to say. Programmatically, we need to convert the technical error messages into convert means this one you need to tell. Creates means what? Object of this exception class you need to say. To create an object of exception class, what I need? Exception classes required. But exception classes are not there in where? For this problem, there is no exception class in where? Python software. That's why you need to develop by yourself. That's why it is known as what? Programmer defined. Pin error in ATMs. Pin error in ATMs means what? Pin problems in ATM. Pin problems in ATM are nothing but what? Exception. What to create? Object. Require what class? Exception class. Not there in Python software. Need to create by ourselves. So we need to develop our own class to create an object. Like that, any problem is there in our project development, that problem will be considered as an exception. That exception need to create an object. That object need what? Exception class. That exception classes are not there in Python software. Where there are, who need to develop? Programmer you need to develop, put it in your project, other team members will use. That's why they are known as what? Programmer defined exceptions. Online students, is my description clear about this? Now I'm going to enter into the some small discussion here. Let us go to the place. So here I'm going to take some small discussion. I want to go for it. So students, now I'm going to take it. Here I'm going to take up. I'm going to write it. In this case, I'm going to take up here. Here I will write it. Python or exception handling hierarchy chart. Exception handling hierarchy chart. Hierarchy chart, I'm going to take it. In this exception handling hierarchy chart, I'm going to take up exception handling hierarchy chart. When I'm going to take up in this place, I'm going to enter into some diagrammatic representation I'm going to explain. So students, this is called something I'm writing. In this case, I'm going to take up lot more things I'm going to take. What is this now? I'm going to take up here exception or base exception. I'm going to write it base exception. Exception or base exception, I'm going to take it. Exception or base exception, I'm going to take it. So students, here I'm going to take up exception or base exception, I'm going to take it. Let it be. There I will take it. This is called what? After 2 minutes, I will tell you. Under that, I'm going to tell you about what are the exceptions you have, zero division error. You know this? Zero division error. Students, this is called zero division error. So next, I'm going to take about next. I'm going to take about this is called one exception class. You know, there is one more type of exception class. What is that? Value error. Next, I will go to one more kind of thing. Type error. Type type error. Now I'm going to take it one more. Value error. I said already. Index error. What are all the errors? Next is called module not found error. Module not found error. Next, I'm going to tell name error. Next is called a syntax error, attribute error. So many errors are there. Next is called what? Next is unbound local error. Unbound local error. Like this, if I go to that, what is the next? Name error. I will write it. Name error. Next is called what? Syntax error. Syntax error. Like that, there are so many errors are there, students. Indentation error. Indentation error. Why I said this error names already to you? File not found error, IO error, OS error, database error. In the further classes, you will getting. Each topic will have what? Its own exceptions are there. Students, here we are going to get it. Here we are going to get it. These are all called what? Predefined exception classes. Even name may be predefined exception classes. All these things are called what? Predefined exception classes. These are all called predefined exception classes. So students, now I'm going to give you the conclusion that these are all called predefined exception classes. Students, so here I am writing, these are all predefined, predefined exception classes, exception classes, exception classes. These are all called predefined exception classes. So students, you try to understand predefined exception classes. That too, exception subclasses. I will use one word called subclasses. This class is called predefined predefined superclass. I will explain what is the meaning of super or what base class for all exception student. For all exceptions. This is the predefined superclass for all the exceptions. Predefined superclass for all the exceptions. Now, students, what is the superclass and subclass are called? It's a OOPS related terminology. In that, we are talking about the topic called inheritance. A lot of topics are there in that class concept, object. Very soon that are going to start in the class. And first, we are talking about what here? A small awareness about what is a class and what is the inheritance. A small example I am going to talk. Online students have this diagram and I am going to give you some general awareness for you in the right side. Students, I will give you a small awareness for you, the parent and you, child. So, you are a parent and child. So, I'm going to write it. I'm going to write it here. So, it's gone little up. So, I'll take little down. This is called parent and this is called child. So, there I'm going to write it, student. Here I'm writing parent and the next is called child. So I'm going to write it child. I'm going to write all the parents' properties are coming to where child. Child. So generally, The parent is giving its total properties to the child. So it is called base class. Also called as what you know, super class we can call. Base or super class we can call. Base or super class we can call. So coming to this place, down to it, now I'm going to take it. This is known as what you know, subclass, subclass or derived class we can call. Derived or what you know, subclass we can call. This is the scenario related to the topic of what? Here I'm going to take up. Here I'm going to take. So students, you try to understand. It is the base class. What happens? So this is a base class as well as what you know, derived classes we can call. So here I am going to take up. Here I am going to take up. Okay, let it be. This is base class and derived class. How to define that into Python? So in Python programming, to define any function, we use a keyword def. To define any function lambda, we use lambda anonymous function. To define any class in Python, we use a keyword called class. Already you have seen list help you have seen, right? In that, what is the before class? Even I shown you index error, some class syntax I shown you, class name. Like that. Today I'm going to write it here, class, class, parent. Every parenting property is called a class. And there you are having some properties. Don't worry about the class and all. I will explain in the class. Class, child. Child is also one class. From parental properties coming to child without making the child to work. So I will write in the tuple bracket parent of. I will write it and simply say pass. And simply say pass. I hope that this is more clear about this discussion. Class child of parent and then pass. This mechanism is known as what? Inheritance. Getting the properties of parent to the child. Child is called which one? Derived or subclass. Parent is called what? Base class or superclass we can call. Online students. One more example, if you seriously think, a teacher in the class and the student in the class. That is also called what? Inheritance concept only. So here I am going to write it. Here I am going to write it. Teacher is a class. Next is called what? Student is a class. All the properties of student, all the properties of teacher are coming to where? Student are coming to student. There I am going to write it. In this place, how do you write it? Class, teacher, class teacher, some properties with the teacher coming to the student, student of what? Teacher, teacher. And say what here? Pass. So here I am going to write it. This property is known as what? Class teacher, class student of teacher, and then say pass. Online students are able to follow now. Is it clear? How I wrote teacher is a base class, student is a subclass. Similarly, today, what is exception or base exception? It is a super class for all the exception development in Python. Already they have written exception properties related code in where? Exception class or base exception they define. If you want to define your own class, you have to get from where? Exception. If you want to get the subject, teacher is a base class, student is a subclass. How to write it? Class student teacher. Today, what is my problem? Invalid username and problem. Invalid username problem. How to define? If I want to define it, I need to go for what? Class. What is that? Login. Login error. Login error is my own class. But that class is not a normal class. That class must be what? Exception class. What I will write it? Exception. I will write exception. Colon what? Pass I will write it. Class exception I will write it. I hope that it is more clear. Is it okay? Is it understandable? So I'm writing here. I'm writing here I will start taking this area here. How to develop my own exception? Here I will try to write it. Already exception class was defined or not? Already exception class was defined. Already this exception class was defined it. So login error is called which exception? Programmer defined exception. Exception class was already there in the Python. Predefined exception class. Next is called class. Which error? Pin error. Of what? Exception. Base exception also. I can write even base exception also, no problem. Shall say pass. I will write class. Deposit error. Deposit error. Of what? Exception. What these are all called? Colon pass. These are all called what? Exceptions we can call. Programmer defined exceptions we can call. How many steps are there? There are two steps are available. Number one is called what? Choose your class name and inherit from where? Come on. Exception parent class. That is super class you need to inherit. Already exception qualitative code was written in where? Exception or base exception. You want to define your own, you can go for it. Are you getting it? So like that, I need to go for taking this kind of thing. How many steps are there? Two steps are available. What are those? I just want to take up a small, instead of typing by myself, I will take it, that kind of activity for you. So steps working with programmer defined exception. So I'll show you that. Please look at that. Already written it. Steps. Choose the programmer defined class name. Already here. Choose the programmer defined class name. Yes, you are taking it. Take exception, base exception and exception here. Take the programmer defined class name. The programmer defined class name must inherit from where? Exception handling features from exception class or what? Base exception class. Your class must inherit from that place. Why? Because the already exception quality of the statements written in where? Exception or base exception that you are getting into your class without taking memory space, without keeping your own efforts. Hence, the programmer defined class name is called what? Programmer defined exception subclass. Your classes are called programmer defined exception subclass. Save this code on some name, which is going to be file name, which is acting as a module name. Where the module contains class names, function names, global variables. Today, class names are there. Example, attempting to enter invalid username and password, class login error of exception. 1 and 2 steps. Attempting to enter invalid pin error, base exception. 1 and 2 steps. Attempting to withdraw more amount than existing balance, insufficient fund error, exception class. Here, login error, pin error, insufficient fund error are called what? Programmer defined exceptions. Are you following me? Programmer defined exceptions. I hope you are following me. Clear or not clear? Clear. So I'm going to enter into the further. So students, now I will move to the further. These points are very clear for you. And I'm going to, online students, I will write my own code, how to go for it. That is what I will do is I will go for some of the programming examples now. With which exceptions? Programmer defined exception. Now indirectly, I'm going to introduce what also? Raise keyword. Online students, is it clear for all of you? Can you respond it? Is it clear for all of you? Quickly. So let us go for working with what? Programmer defined exception. So I will start with a small example. Open the notes, all of you. Write down students, open it. Write a programmer defined exception class. Write a programmer defined exception class for dealing with zero division problems. zero division problems. Zero division problems. Zero division problems. ORR in other ORR. Write a Python program in other way. I'm dictating the question in another way. Write a Python program which will which will calculate which will calculate which will calculate division of two numbers. 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 Next line. You write like this. Data validations. Data validations. Write down like this. Data validations. Number one. Two values must be. Two values must be. Two values must be. Numeric values. Numeric values. These are all called, test cases also we can call. These are called what? Test cases. If you go to hacker rank and lead code models, what you come across is like this only. Because all our previous examples, we written lead code and hacker rank related model of examples. Second, if any one of the value, if any one of the value, if any one of the value is non-numeric, 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 which exception? You tell me which exception will come. Non-numeric means alphanumeric, something like symbols. Which exception? Then, tell me. Then raise. Which exception? Modu value error. Already said no. It cannot convert the non-numeric value into what? Numeric value error. Third, if the denominator, if the denominator, if the denominator, if the denominator, if the denominator is zero, then raise. Generally, what exception will come? 1 minute you wait. Zero, don't write. Zero division error, right? Zero division error. This is an error. But today I want to go for what? My own exception I want to generate. My own exception I want to generate. What is that? Instead of zero division error, denominator division error. Something like my own exception. Something or number division error or input division error. Some name. Generate programmer defined exception. Programmer defined exception. Write down. Programmer defined exception. Programmer defined exception. Programmer defined exception. It is your own way. Denominator, then division error. Example. Instead of zero division error, example, denominator zero error. Instead of you are learning zero division error. How do you generate your own? How do you raise your own exception you are learning? That is the main part of this example, zero division error. That is the main intention of using this example. If the denominator is zero, then raise a programmer defined exception. Okay. So how do you go for it? Because when you go to any competitive programming platforms, there are some test cases will be there. Those test cases you must satisfy like this. So you must carefully need to read the problem and you need to start doing that. So I'm going to do, students, now test cases I'm going to start. Two numerical values I need to do. Need to raise my own exception, need to take predefined exception, everything I'm using. Students, am I clear about this example, ma? Is my question is clear for you? So let us go to the pie chart. Let us go to the pie chart. So I'm going to use it. Let us coming to this point. Students, listen very carefully, ma'am. These kind of things you close it. Close this project. So here I'm going to use it. So I'm going to write it 11 a.m. exceptions. 11 a.m. exceptions I'm using. There I'm writing the first case study. So here I will go to generally file system also I will give you students. Generally in real time project, file system I am going to give you. So when we come to Java or .NET or any Python programming, we will define three important files. One is called error management related file. That is nothing but what? div exceptions. What exceptions are going to come in that? It is called exception development I will take. Next is called a div operation code. I will write it. Business logic code. This is div operation demo. I will take it. Div operation demo. That means div operation execution.py. Here it is going to contain exception development. Here it is going to develop exception hitting. This I am going to take it exception handle. See, when you go to mango, I want to eat mango. So how do you eat mango? Three people compulsory. This is called you. You want to eat mango. If you want to eat, you need to buy, right? You are the consumer. You are the consumer. There will be sellers or there are not sellers. And if sellers will come from where? From field. From virginal field they will collect. From mango virginal birthplace, that is from the trees. They will, the trees means what? The virginal harvesting place they will collect. This is called a development of mangoes. This is called hitting of mangoes. This is called handling of mangoes. Same mobiles you take it. You want to buy the mobile. Mobile development, mobile selling, mobile consuming. Here, development of exceptions, hitting of exceptions. Hitting are nothing but raising the exception, handling the exception. So that is what the first one. I'll do multiple case studies and I'll do ATM case study also. Let us move to the further. There I'm going to take it. divexcept.py. There I'm going to write it. How do you take it? Class. Now I'm going to take it. The class name I'm going to take it as what? Come on, as I said to you, denominator. Denominator, division error. Some name you take your own thing. Zero division error or zero error, anything else. Zero division error. Denominator error I am going to take. From where I need to take it? Exception. Are you following me? This is called what? This is called phase one. This is called phase one development. What is the phase one development? Development of exceptions. Development of exceptions. Development of programmer defined exceptions. Programmer defined exceptions. First one. It is the file name. It is the file name. And next is called what? Module name. So I took it. Online students, this part was already completed in my diagram only. How to write my own kind of thing. Easy. Second one I'm going to take out. The another one, there I'm going to take out hitting process I'm going to take it. So operation.py. There I'm going to write it. File name and next is called what? Module name. There I'm going to define students. Define division of A comma B. A comma B. I'm going to take it. What I'm going to take it here? Suppose if I say return A by B, for example, if I take it, return A by B, if I take it, return A by B, for example, which exception will be coming by default? If B value is 0 and A value is some 2, 2 by 0, which exception PVM uses? Zero division error. That means internally PVM uses one keyword called what? Raise. So exception hitting. You need to understand this word. Exception generating. Exception hitting or generating or raising by using a keyword called what? Raise. So exception birth starts from which keyword? Raise. Once you say raise, that raised exception will be handled by using which keyword yesterday? Try and accept. Then after that, either else will come or finally will be coming. So either accept will come or else will come, and finally it is going to come to the finally block. Very fine. So what is an order of the keywords? Exception birth will come from where? Raise. When 10 by 0 is there, which exception is raised? Zero division error. Int of what? 10x. Int of 10x. This 10x is going to be known as what? Alphanumeric. Cannot be converted into integer. So it is raising which exception? Value error. Value error. So anything is wrong input. Internally, which keyword used by PVM implicitly? Raise. Raise. But today, I don't want to use what exception to raise? Predefined exception to raise? No. I want to write my own exception. How do you write it? I will check. B is equal to 0. B is equal to 0. What I want to do? When B is 0, as I was written, if the denominator is 0, raise your own exception. If denominator is 0 in this case, I will use one keyword called 0. Division error, no. What I want to do? What I want to do? Already I developed my own class name called what? Denominator. Denominator. So denominator division error. What is denominator zero error? It is the class name which is present into which module? div except. What we will do? From what is that? Division from div except. Import what? Division. Denominator division error. Are you following me? So from denominator this kind of thing. This error only I am going to take up. Why this is coming like that? So denominator, this kind of thing is coming. Are you following? So I will use the same class name here. Some spelling mistake, I don't want to worry about it. I'll use it. Whatever the class name is there, copy paste. Are you following? So raise. I'm raising my own exception. This is my own exception. Else, online students. So they will ask you what is raise keyword. What is raise keyword? It is used to hit programmer defined exception explicitly. Implicitly, who will use raise? PVM use raise implicitly for raising predefined. Already predefined exceptions present in where? Python software. When I am using my own exception, I need to write a condition. Raise my own exception, I need to write. So to raise explicitly my own exception, use raise. To use implicitly predefined exception, PVM uses raise keyword implicitly. I think you are supposed to understand when raise is coming. So raise is using two places. One is implicitly by PVM for hitting predefined. Raise is used explicitly by the programmer for raising predefined exceptions. Programmer defined exception explicitly, predefined exceptions implicitly. So if somebody asks raise, what is your answer? Raise is a keyword. Raise keyword is used to hit predefined exception implicitly by the PVM. Raise keyword is used by the programmer to raise the exceptions explicitly when certain condition is satisfied. Raise keyword to be used always inside the method body. Why? Function body. Functions are meant for performing operation. During operations, you will be getting some exceptions. That's why you are writing is equal to 0, raise your exception. else raise this value, something like this is coming. I think you are following me. It is for what? Hitting, hitting the exception, hitting the programmer defined exception, hitting the programmer defined exception. Clear or not clear? Clear. So today I'm using raise. Okay, that is finished. This is called phase number two. This is phase number two. What is the phase number two? Development of hitting what? Programmer defined exceptions. Programmer defined exceptions. This is development of development of business logic, development of business logic by hitting programmer defined exceptions. అంటే so far earlier only business logic we defined. Today we are making our program to be stronger. That is by hitting the programmer defined exceptions. Online students, are you okay? Did you understand this raise keyword here? So if you want, ikkade చూపించేస్తాను raise keyword. You try to understand. So raise keyword here. Already 17 points I said. Five points yesterday. Else, except, finally, etc. Raise keyword is used for hitting or raising or generating the exception, provided some condition must be satisfied. Raise keyword always used inside the function definition only. PVM uses raise keyword implicitly for hitting predefined exception, whereas programmer makes the PVM to use raise keyword explicitly for hitting or generating programmer defined exceptions. Getting my point? Yes. If test condition raise exception class name, DEF function name, list of formal params if any, some condition here, raise of what? Exception class name. You got my point. This is about raise keyword, important keyword. So done. Now next I will go to my problem statement. Coming to this now, I will go to the next part of it. Here I am going to write it. div operation demo.py. Third level I am going to. Consumption level I am going to enter. So there I am going to take it. In this place I am going to take operation demo.py. There I am going to write it. Start here. What I do? A is equal to. So I am going to take it. Float of input of enter first value, first number, and next enter second number. So I'm going to take it B is equal to enter second number. I'm going to take up, and next I'm going to write it. I will do this operation by using what function? Division function. Division function. When you are using your Python software, you are using int of, float of, bin of. You are using predefined functions or not? Like that, today I am using my own function. What I am passing? A comma B. What is the division function? It is a function which is present into where? div operation import. What is the function name? Division. This is called my function call, which is going to do what? Res. What is that res? It is a function call. Gives result annostadi. Either result is coming or exception is coming. When you are attending the course, either job will not come or job will come. When you don't read the notes, exception will come. When you read the notes, job will come. Same thing here also. Function call gives either result or what? Exception. If exception comes, you handle by writing try and except. If result comes, you print it. Getting? How to handle the exception? Print of division is equal to comma res. For example, you are printing. You are not handling what? Exception. Only result you are printing. Because this is a poor programming we can call. Execute now. See this now. Go to the top right side, you bring it. So enter the first value, students. So there I am going to get it. There I am going to get 10 and 2, getting my output, no problem. Why? I am entering what input? 10 and 0. 10 and 2. This is I am entering 10 and 2. It will go to where this module and this function. So it will go here. What is the value of A? 10. What is the value of B? 2. From main program they are coming. What is the B value here? 2 is equal to 0. Muttu, come on. False. False means come to where? Else. Written 10 by 2, 5. It is coming to which program? Main program. RES is going to contain what value? 2. So it is going to print the value called 10 by 2 means what? 5.0 will be coming. That is the first case. Second case, what is that? 10 and what? 0. ఇక్కడ నేను అదే చెప్పింది. If the denominator is 0, raise your own exception. Instead of which exception? 0 division error. So press enter key. How the flow? Entered by end user, taken by your main program, sending to your module related function business logic. In the business logic, A B called 10 and 0. 0 is equal to 0 is called what? False. 0 is equal to 0 is called true. What is happening? Raise this error to the program from where you are calling. To this place, you are getting an exception. So press enter key, you are getting exception name. Technical error message, division error of which module? div except. You need to handle or not? Technical error message. I need to handle. Okay, handle it. This is a statement generating an exception. Okay, write this statement under what? except. What is this now? Then something like okay, it will be coming. Okay, this is the one I am getting. ఇది తీసుకొచ్చేస్తాను ఇక్కడ ఇంపోర్ట్ చేస్తాను ఇక్కడ. I will import it and I will write it what? Then division error. Are you following? So I will write it here. I will write it here. Come on, what I should do? What is this? Don't enter. Don't enter. 0 for denominator. Don't enter 0 for denominator. Don't enter 0 for denominator. Okay, done. And I will go to what? This is the message you are getting, student. When the result is coming, I will write under which block? RES. Division is equal to. If you want, you can write it div of. Div of. First value, comma, second value is equal to dot format of what? A comma B comma RES. Done. And this is a division from where it is? From where? div operation. Import what function? Division. I think you are following. Either result I am printing or exception I am printing. This is the actual policy of writing the code. Either you handle the exception or you handle the result. Online students. Execute complete flow. 120. Who is entering this 120? End user. Who will take main program? Sending to whom? Function. Go to the function. What is the value of AB? 120. 20 is equal to 0. False. Coming to return 20, 100 by 20. Come on. 5. 5 will be returned back to RES. Any exception occurs? No. It will go to where? Else block. You are getting division of this answer is coming. Second, I am writing 100 and I am writing 0. 100 by 0. What is happening? These values are going to this division. 100 and 0. 0 is equal to 0. True. True means what? Raising an exception. Coming to this, once the exception is raising, you are handling also. It is going to print don't enter 0 for denominator. Is the message is coming or not? Getting or not? Right. Sir, if you want, okay, this is one thing you got it. And what is online students? Is it clear, ma? Is it clear about it? Next, One more thing, as I already said to you, what is that? If any one of the value is non-numeric, raise which error? Value error. So here you run this code. Here I am entering 20 and then 2x I am writing. 2x. Which line is an error? Which line is an error? Here this line is an error. Right or not? This line is an error. That means here value error is coming. This value error is not monitored by the try block because the statement written above try block. So you will not get the technical error message. You are getting which error? Technical error message only coming, no user friendly message. So I found that these statements also what programmer defined exception is already there. These exceptions also will be coming here. These are not programmer defined. They are called what? Predefined. So write those statements inside the try block itself because we found that those statements also called exception statements. Write those statements under which block? Try block. Online students, be careful, mark. Execute. Now I'm going to say 10 and then 2. Output is coming. You execute next, students, 100 and the next is 0. I'm getting my own exception. Here I'm writing 10 and 2x. You are entering, but you are not handling it. Value error is there. You are not handling it. How to do it? So I will write it here. What is that? Except which error? Value error. So I'm not importing value error. Why? Value error is already present by default in which module? Built-ins module. Built-ins module is the default imported module. So I will write it print of what is this now? Backslash t. I am writing here. Don't enter. Don't enter. ALNUMs. ALNUMs. STRs. And next is what? Symbols. Are you following? Try to execute now. So perfect. 10x. Got it. Next you say something like a dollar. Anything you enter by default automatically it is coming. This is called the strongest programming. Sir, if they enter anything wrong like that, I want to repeat, sir. I want to ask once again, sir. What you will do? While true, you will write it because you already know that logic. Online students. While true, you are making to execute. But answer also coming, you are getting again. What I will do when an answer is coming, you need to do break. Are you getting me? When answer is coming, you break it. When answer is not coming, you repeat it. See that now, students? So here I am going to take it. Try to understand. Run this code. Enter the number 10 and 0. Don't enter 0 for denominator. 10 and 2x. Don't enter alpha numerical values. KVR. Don't enter alpha numerical values. Dollar. Don't enter the symbols. 10. Don't enter anything. Don't enter special symbol, that one. 1000 and then 20. Perfect output is coming. This is called ultimate programming. Understand this point? Easy or difficult? మనం చదువుకుంటే ఏం రాదు. మీకు నేను బ్రహ్మ పదార్థం చెప్పినా అది మీకు విషంలాగా ఉంటుంది అది. ఈవెన్ ఐ గివ్ వెరీ గుడ్ స్వీట్. I like it very, very good sweet. Milk Mysore pak is a very nice sweet, which I like it very much. Even if I give it, it will be like a bitter gourd. Because if you don't read, it will be so difficult for you to understand. If you don't read now, even if I give you diamond also, it will look like a iron only for you. That's why reading is most important. Without reading, if you come, it's very difficult for you to get it. So online students, that is perfect. So done. So in this case, what I'm going to do, three things I said. One is called what? Development of exception, hitting of exception, handling of exception. This is called a main program. This is called a main program. Done. Main program done. So next example, I will go for it. Shall I go to the next example? Right. This is called my file system. Right. Next. One more. Write a Python program. Write a Python program. write a Python program which will write a Python program which will generate a multiplication table, which will generate a multiplication table, which will generate a multiplication table. Next line, data validations. You write down next line lo data validations. In the bracket, test cases. So what is that? There you write. If the number is if the number is 0, then raise zero error. I am writing. What is the zero error? Emadi programmer defined exception. Adoka exception you need to define. If the number is alphanumeric, if the number is alphanumeric, special symbol, special symbol, then raise value error, value error. It is called a predefined exception. It is called a predefined exception. Next I'm going to take up, if the number is negative, if the number is negative, if the number is negative, then raise negative number error, negative number error, negative number error. Programmer defined exception again. If the number is negative, then raise negative number error, negative number error. ఇంకొకటి కావాలంటే అది కూడా రాస్తాను. If the user enters space, if the number is space, then raise space error. ఇవన్నీ ఉండవు. We need to develop our own exceptions to become perfect in that. So I need to go to file system. File system. What should I do in file system? By this time you need to get a clarity on this example. So I'm going to write it. Em తీసుకుంటాను zero error. So here mul except.py. There I will write a multiple classes. This is one class. This is a negative number error. Negative number error I will take. Next is called a space error. This is called a space error, like that. Second one I will go for it. mul table dot py. There I will take table function. Third one I will go for it. mul table demo. mul table demo dot py is a main program. This is called a module name. Also module name. This is also module name. This is a main program, students. Main program. This is main program. Main program. So ultimately you are understanding the significance of this entire thing. Online students, I hope you are understanding this significance. Now I'll start. mul except.py. So I'll take up this code. Now I'll take it, go to the place. Here I will take new mul except.py. There I am writing. I will take up my class name. What is this now? Class zero error of what? Exception. Right? Say pause. Class what next? Negative number error. Negative number error. of what here? Base exception. And I say what pass here. Class here, I will take up what space error. Space error, I will take it. Of exception, I will take it. That's all. So I made what are all the exceptions are there, we are taking it. And instead of defining beginning, when I'm doing the business logic, that time if I found that any type of exception comes, I will comment back and I will define. So it is called a module name. Okay. Go to the next mul table.py. Mul table.py. There I'm going to take. There I'm going to take it. Mul table.py. There I'm going to write it. File name, and then module name. Module name. So def, what is that now? Table of, what is the value coming? N. N. So here that N is what type? str. str I will take. Because from main program I will get it. Even you can write there colon str also you can write it. Colon str. Colon str also you can write. No issue. But that is the old style. No need to go for it. Because dynamically typed programming language means any type of value I can get it. No need to go for str kind of thing. Even if I write str also, no problem. What I do there, what I do, I will convert that value into which type? Number type. How do I convert? N is equal to, num is equal to int of what? N. Which exception chance is there to get it? There is a possibility of, which error? Of raising which exception? Value error. In which case that value error will come? Alphanumeric, special symbols. If anything comes, that will give you what? Value error. Okay, one implicit exception is value error. Okay. I will write it if number is equal to 0. If number is equal to 0, which one I need to raise it? Raise what error? 0 error. What is 0 error? It is a class name from where? mulexcept import what error? 0 error. Simple. 0 error. Okay. Elif. Elif. What is the next? If a number, if num, if num less than what? 0. If num less than 0, raise negative number error. It is also getting imported, right or not? From email except. Are you getting it? Now, suppose if I write what? Else. Suppose if I write else, what I will do? I will write the code for a multiplication table. Print of, I say of 50. I will say here print of, what is this now? Backslash t. Multiplication table for, table for dot format of num. Num. What I should print over there? Here I am going to write it. In this case, for for I in range of 1 comma 11, 1 comma 11, print of what here? Backslash t, and into that symbol equal to like this dot format of what? Num comma I comma what? Num into I. Num into I. Are you following this? Now, done. This is multiplication table when it is not a negative number, when it is not a 0, when it is not a value error. At these many situations, it is going to come. Space error still I did not include. I will include the space error after that. Online students, is it okay? Raising the error, raising the exception, and I'm giving the result when it is that. Whenever I feel it is a comfortable input, I will give the result. Otherwise, I will raise the exception. Correct? I'm going on searching for the apple. If I feel that it's a good apple, I will put it in my basket. Otherwise, I will go for what? Raise an error only. Main program, I am going to go to the mul table demo.py. Very, very simple. Go to that. Here I am writing main program dot py. There I am going to write it. What is this now? It is a main program. It is a main program I am taking. What I should do? N is equal to int of enter a number for generating multiplication table. Come on, how do you do? If if no, directly you pass to whom? Table of what is this? I will pass n. It is from which one? MUL table. Import what? Table of. This is called what you know? In this case, it is what is this now? N is taking. So this is a n. I should not convert it. I should take what type only n. See, when I converted that int type, you got some different color or not? అబ్జర్వ్ చేశారు అదే మహాభారతంలో దుర్యోధనులాగా చూస్తున్నారా ఏమా సో you see when I wrote here int type of like that, it is having some different color. Why different color? Because it is having what? Str I mentioned it. Since I removed this, you are getting what? No more error because it is an str only. What is this is called? What is this is called a function call? Gives either result or exceptions. Exceptions. What do you do if you are a good programmer? You try to run it. You see, I say 6. I got the sixth table. No problem. 50%. Correct. Next to 50% is strongness. Correct. 50% is result. 50% is how strong you are. Say -3. Technical error message. Not recommended. Next, 0. 0. 0 error. No. I will say what? Say 2x, 3x, value error. So out of 4 times, 1 time only result, 3 times errors. So my program is a weak program. I do what? Come on. I say try, need to handle. How do I do? EXCEPT, negative number error. What is that? Print off. I will say \t. Don't enter. Don't enter negative number 2 multiplication table. Multiplication table. Next, I will go to what? EXCEPT. What is the next? 0, 0 error. 0 error. 0 error. What is 0 error? What is 0 error? Here I will write it. 0 error. Don't enter 0 for. Don't enter 0 for what? Multiplication table. Don't enter 0 for multiplication table. Multiplication table. Okay. Next what? EXCEPT. What is the next term? Value error. Value error. Value error, you need not to write what? This kind of thing. So I was already written it. Don't enter this kind of thing. So here I wrote it. In this case, this place, I will write it. This message I wrote it. Are you following? Now this value error need not to import. If you want to import now from built-ins, import what? Value error. No use. Even if I write no award is given especially. Your hands pain only. Understand? Of course, మీకు హ్యాండ్స్ పెయిన్ ఉండదు ఎందుకంటే మీకు గుర్తుండదు కదా ఫస్ట్ అందుకని నేను చెప్పాను డోంట్ యాక్ట్ లైక్ ఏ దుర్యోధన ఇన్ మహాభారతం యూ యాక్ట్ లైక్ ఏ అర్జున ఇన్ మహాభారతం యు నో దట్? తెలుసా కొన్ని ఏమన్నా తెలుసా? యు నో దట్ ఎనీథింగ్? మనకి ఏం రాదు అసలు. ఉత్తగా అట్లా 22 ఇయర్స్ అలా ఉన్నాం అంతే. సంథింగ్ ఉత్తగా ఫ్రీగా వచ్చే గాలి తీసుకొని చదువుకోకుండా ఇట్లా ఉన్నాం. ఆల్ స్టూడెంట్స్ డోంట్ ఫీల్. లెట్ మీ టెల్ యూ వాట్ అబౌట్ యువర్ ఒపీనియన్. సే హియర్ 4 output is coming. Next, -4. Don't enter negative number to the multiplication table. How it is coming? My own exception. 0, my own exception. See that 2x, my own exception. You say the value called what? KVR. It's my own thing. I will say next what? Space, space, space. What is this now? Also giving. But I want to write my own exception there. How? Go there, here, in this place. I will say, what is that? If, what is that? N dot what? Is space. N dot is space. What is that? Raise what? Raise. Which error? Space error. Space error. Space error. Yes. Space error is already defined in my system or not? Yes, it is defined. Space error. If it is not space, else this is coming to where? Else part. Here I am going to write it. In this case, this entire thing I will bring it. This entire thing I will bring it. Are you getting me? So here shift one tab like this. Is it clear? Hmm. Come on, go to this place. You try to run. One more I will handle it. What is this now? Except space error. Space error. I will say don't enter space for don't enter space for multiplication table. Don't enter symbols for multiplication table. Are you following? Try to run this. So got it. Space, 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 space. What is happening? MULCXCEPT. Syntax error. ఏంది syntax error? Space error. Space error. Comma what? Space error. Space. Properly I will write it. Here also space. Here also. Because if you write everywhere else same answer also, no problem. No. Space error. You try to run this now. So say space, space, space. So you'll get don't enter space for a multiplication table. Getting me? Like this. So any exception is there, which is a simply left hand left finger for you. I think it is more clear. Clear or not clear? Clear. So what is the special thing here? I wrote str. Even if you don't write str also, there is no special award is given. Nothing is there. So I will say here what I will say KVR 2x. So it is going to be same. I will say the answer called space, space, space. Same. You say something like 220 and 420 is given. Output is coming. So like that, you need to define your own exception. Understand? Understand or not understand? So I will go forward. This is called one example. That is a previous example. Can I go next? Right. Write a Python program. Online students, I hope you got my points. Next. Write a Python program which will validate which will validate the name which will validate the name which will validate the name. Hmm. Data validations. Name అవ్వచ్చు, product name or place name, whatever it is. Name means person name, product name, place name. Already I taught in where loops. గుర్తుందా? In the loops I said already. Said or not? ఏమో మనకు గుర్తులేదు. మనకి ఏం గుర్తుండదనిలే కానీ రైట్. నేమ్ షుడ్ బి నేమ్ validations, data validations. Data validations under that. Name must be purely alphabets. 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 Next, next validation. If any name, if name contains, if name contains, if name contains, if name contains any digits or special symbol, any digits or special symbol, digits or special symbol, then raise the exception. Raise the exception. Raise the exception. Programmer defined. I mean, which one? Programmer defined. Next, if the name is only space, 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 then raise space error. Raise a space error. Raise a space error. Right. Look at once. I'm having, you will understand that. What is the code I said in the last class? Guido van Rossum. Guido van Rossum. How do you do that? You will split, right or not? You will split. If when you split it, it is a Guido. It is a valid. These are purely alphabets. Next, van, purely alphabets. And Rossum, purely what? Alphabets. So it is called what? Valid name. Suppose I entered Guido van Rossum. Van, V contains V2AN, VA2N. Guido, valid. VA2N, invalid. You will break it and you say which name? Name error. It is called what? Name error. Very following. So, any numbers are there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. It is also not an alpha, not an alpha. How do you decide is an alpha or not? By using a function called isAlpha. I think you know that. So I'm going to open because I need not to write it. Already you understood, I hope so. I'm having invalid name error, one name, space error, zero name length error. And I will press directly enter key only. I'll press enter key without entering the name. Enter your name. I'm not entering any names, simply pressing enter key. What is the length of that? 0. len of name is equal to 0. Then I will generate what? 0 name length error, space error, space is entered. Invalid name error. That is nothing but any number any name contains digits or special symbol. I'll open next name validation. Very, very easy. Most powerful code. Validation of name. len of name is equal to 0. Raise 0 name length error. If name contains what? Is space. What are you doing? Raise a space error. Else you are taking name dot split. What is coming? Words. And res is equal to what? True. Like a true false prime number, not a prime number, oval or not oval. I already taught to you. For words in words, first word is coming Guido, Van, Rosam. If word dot is alpha, if it is true, not true. If it is a purely alphabets, it is going to be what? Going to the next word. If the next word is called V2AN like that, is it alpha? False. Not false. What is that? RES is equal to false and breaking. Once you break it, if it is false, what is raising? Invalid name error. If it is a purely alphabets are there in that, RES will not become false. RES will be true. Return the name. Valid name will be returned. This is about the code which I already taught to you. The same kind of example you need to write it. So I will take it. Name related exceptions here. This is another case I am entering. Here I will take it. In this case, name except.py. I will take this entire kind of things. So here I am going to take a module come file name come module. I will take this kind of business logic. I will take up this name validation.py. So in the second phase, name validation, online students, already this code was explained to you. Carry this entire thing, coming to this place, done. This is a name validation module name. Main program I will take it. What is the main program name I am having? This case, I am handling almost all the exceptions. Every exception I am going to handle student. Name validation demo.py. I will take it name validation demo.py. So that I will bring this complete code. So students, I'm going to write it. In this case, all the exception names I'm taking. While true also I'm writing. While true, why? Enter your name. You are getting validate name of your name. You pass it. Function call gives either valid name or what? Exceptions. If it is a valid name, space error. Don't enter space for your name. If you don't enter any name, don't enter your name. Enter your name, don't enter, simply enter key. Invalid name error is invalid name. I'm printing the name of it. If it is except, I'm writing our standard of it. Oops, something went wrong. This is not for end user. It is for the new programmer. I said yesterday the standard of it and print your name is. And I'm saying break. Beautiful. Explanation. Enter your name. Guido, Van, row, sum. In this, I will write some value called 2. What is coming? Guido, row, sum is a invalid name. Try again. This part. This part. Enter your name. Space, space, space. Don't enter space for your name. This one. Space error. Don't enter anything. Enter your name. It is called 0 name length error. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and KVR. It is going to be invalid name. KV2R. This is invalid name. Are you following? So I will enter Guido Van Rossum. Guido Van Rossum. So you're going to get your name is Guido Van Rossum. Super example. These are all called what? How to develop our own exceptions. See, from where are we coming? We don't know the proper code. How to develop our own exception is so beautiful. Online students are following like that. Any sort of problem is occurring in our program to give user friendly message. If the class is not there, we will define our own class. That one class is nothing but a programmer defined exception. There's a lot of importance about the exceptions in Python. Take Java students, ask this question, how do you develop your own exception? They don't know anything. Though they learned Java, example, you learned Java in your colleges. What happens? Total problems. Don't know anything about exceptions. But Python, you have to be perfect. I am explaining everything to you. This is about the 3 case studies I said. And next, this is what we learned in the class. This is what we learned. And the next, the holidays will be starting. Institute announced holiday tomorrow onwards. Second, third, fourth, fifth also. Sunday. Fifth is a Sunday. Next class is on Next class is on, already notice board is there on the outside. Next class is on 6th 10 2025. October 6th is the next class, 11 o'clock we will meet. There I will discuss about this explanation. Okay now? So don't miss the class on that day. So advanced happy Dasara to all of you. Thank you. Carry on. All the best. Online students, still you have any doubts, you hold on. I will clarify your doubts.